and welcome to Advertise. Over the last 10 odd weeks, we've met a large number of Indian biggies. But today, we have one of the biggest global captains, Mainardo de Nardis, CEO of OMD Worldwide. He has been global CEO since 2009 and been in the advertising and marketing services business since 36 years. Without further ado, let's meet the big boss of OMD Worldwide. Welcome to Advertise, Mainardo.
Thank you very much. Very good to see you again.
Disruption is the buzzword. We've all been talking about it, and we've had two major disruptors this year, Brexit first and the US elections. Do you think it will impact ad spends in a big way?
I think that disruption is normally a positive word in our language, in our business, because it means evolving from one situation to a different one, and we shouldn't be scared of change. You've asked a very specific question, Brexit and the American election. I don't think we know yet. I think it's too early to judge. The forecast for Brexit is that not much is going to change in the short term, also because Brexit has not happened. Brexit may happen over the next 2 years. If they're lucky, it may take a little bit longer. Yes, uncertainty is never good for our business, but it does not look like it's going to affect advertising expenditure in the short term in the UK. Longer term, I think we still have to understand what is going to have an impact in Europe. The American elections, I really don't know. I mean, we've got a candidate president who hasn't yet taken office. Let's wait and see. Let's see what kind of government he has. Let's see what the first priorities are. If you look at the forecast, it was expected that the stock exchange was going to go down. It hasn't. Right. Bonds are suffering because money is moving from one bucket to another bucket. More of the stock exchange, more volatile, more short term. I think we've got to see. I wouldn't expect any major change in the short term.
You haven't moved your office from New York to Canada yet.
I'm Italian. If I had to move, I wouldn't move to Canada. No offense to the Canadians, but I would move to Milan then.
You know, everybody, all pundits in the business have been talking about data science, and the US elections have thrown up questions about the entire business of data science, and pollsters have been proven wrong. What is your view? Since OMD also invests a fair bit into data, you have 100 odd people in your New York office itself. What is your view about data science, and do you think it works at all?
Let me give you a simplistic answer, but I think it makes the point. 10 years ago, everything was about small data. Small analysis, understanding in depth what the thinking of consumers was, what is really in their brain and their passion for a brand or a political party. Then now we've had the last 5-8 years whatsoever of a big data approach. I think that in the future we're going to put big data and small data much more together. Big data is like electricity, you can't live without. We may not talk about it, but we don't talk about electricity either. It just helps us to do everything that we do. I just think we've got to bring back the people who brought us small data and that insight and that level of depth that we need in order to match and combine the two to have big trends supported by data and a deeper, in-depth understanding of consumers to really understand what they're loving in that moment. That was not done, and I think it's a good example, both of the US elections and Brexit. I think it was a too much big data focus. We needed more in-depth understanding of, let's call them the consumers, of that specific political product to better understand what was going to happen.
You know, while media agencies have typically been about crunching numbers and analyzing them, do you think the entire business has been taken over by techies, given the fact that there's a fair bit of stress on looking at data, poring over it, and figuring out how things work? Is it more technology than creativity and innovation?
Listen, I don't know what it is, but I'm very sure what it should be. And what it should be is a good balance. It's a good balance between what is in our heart and what is in our brain. Exactly in the same way that I said before, we need balance between big data and small data. We need balance between short term and long term. We need balance between building brands and performance, especially performance in digital, to achieve short term specific objectives. We need balance between big ideas and the technology and the systems and the data which will allow us to deliver them. It's never one thing or the other, it's always one thing and the other. I think that should be the approach. if sometimes in history we err too much on one side or too much on the other one, we always understand it and pay the price, because we need to find that balance again. No, I don't think that the agency world should be just about the data and technology. I think ideas, insights, which sometimes comes from small data, not big data, are equally important, and it's finding that balance which is really important for the brain, so that we help our clients to launch, relaunch, generate profitable sales.
Given the way the media agency business is doing, do you see 5 years from now, or possibly just 2 years from now, your competition to OMD being the likes of a Group M, IPG Worldwide, or would it be, the technology firms or the analytical firms?
I think it's a bit of everything. It's like the agency model. 25 years ago we had full service. Then we've had 20 years of very specialized services. Now we are recreating new services where we're putting elements of the marketing mix back together, but not in just one way. There will be infinite ways. So we had one model, then we had another one, and now we're moving to multiple models for the future. That is the same answer to your question. We need flexibility. We needed to have multiple operations. There isn't one right way to do things.
Moving to India, 5 years back you had mentioned that the Indian operations would be revenue-wise possibly your top 5 markets worldwide. Is that on course?
I don't think we're there yet. I don't think it's one. I don't remember saying that it was. You've got a better memory than me, clearly. I was hoping I would have said it on one of the top 10. No, it's not. It's not there yet. I think we've grown a lot, but it's not one of the top 5 markets in terms of revenue in the world. Will it be? Yes, I'm sure it will be. It has to be, because of the size of the country and the opportunities that our clients have here.
What do you think are the stumbling blocks in this path?
I think that the market growth has perhaps been a little bit slower than we expected. We've had a very good growth, but I don't think we're yet at the point where we are in a top 5 market in the world. It certainly has all the ingredients. I mean, I've just spent the last 24 hours with all our people, and when I look at our offer here in terms of data, in terms of programmatic, in terms of social, search, mobile, it's very much at the higher end of our best product across the world. I mean, I don't think there is anything that we miss here in terms of ingredients. And quite the opposite, actually.
And you have the best talent in the business.
I mean, if you say so, I'm so happy to hear about that, and I'm sure that Jazz and the team will love this. I know that, and don't tell everybody.
I ask you this question because in a recent interview, when you were asked about the hot markets in the world, you mentioned China and Latin America and not India. Is that something that you feel that India is not as hot as you would like it to be?
No, I don't, not at all. China and India for me go in the same box, and in terms of size, it's so much bigger for us as a business than Latin America is. But if I didn't mention, it's because I wanted to mention one on this side of the world and one on the other. So no, not at all. Especially considering that in LATAM we can't operate directly in the biggest market, which is Brazil, because of local legislations where media agencies are not allowed. So a comparison would be out of place. India and China are huge markets, not just for us but for our clients. So that's where a big part of our development is coming from.
OMD Worldwide has been a much awarded agency. You've been winning awards almost every year, almost all of them. But in India, we have had a slightly less aggressive approach towards awards. Is that?
I'm not sure. 66 from January to now. I hope that we've got a few more between now and the end of the year, which I think is a big result. I think that will position us again as one of the big award-winning agencies in India, and again for the last 10 years, the most awarded agency in the world. Certainly, I can tell you that there are a lot of awards in India, probably more than in many other countries.
Let's look at what other plans for the country. Are you looking at bringing in some of your other international clients to the country? Of course, they need to retain OMD here, but obviously some of your big name clients, not all of them are here.
We've got 48 global clients, which represent probably around half of our total billing and revenue. Out of those 48, I think there are 5 or 6 which are missing in India. Some of them don't exist in India, so we can't win them. Certainly, we're very focused about bringing our global clients to all the big markets, and that must be one of our priority. We believe in new business, of course, but our first source of new business is our clients. That's a way to consolidate business, to build better relationships. We have to grow with our clients first, and then we think about new clients.
And any other plans of growing OMD in any way, in terms of, are you looking at any inorganic way of acquiring some agencies or regrouping it in some form?
Well, I can tell you a couple of things. One, we're working on our plan for OMD 2020, which really focuses on what kind of agency do we want to be in 3 years' time, what offer do we want to have, what segments do we want to cover, and as I'm answering this question, you may expect that our offer will be significantly larger in terms of services over the next 3 years. So yes, do expect more services coming out of the agency, which are not in the list of what we're offering today. And I would prefer at this stage not to get into any detail, because that's our competitive plan for the future. One more thing that I can tell, I think you probably know it, but we're going to announce very, very shortly the getting together of MudraMax and OMD.
Finally!
I said it's not a big surprise, it's something we've been working on and operationally already doing together. But we felt that this is the right time for joining forces, so that we can centralize a few services, benefit from the additional size that both groups coming together will present. We've got a number of services which are attractive to their clients, especially in data and digital. So it's a win-win approach that gives a little bit more to both sides of the family and allows OMD in India to operate hopefully more successfully in the future.
Great. On that note, thank you for being on Adspends.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.